Tuña, 2.5 hours from Bogota in the region of Boyacá. At an altitude of 2,820 meters, this is the highest town in Colombia, in the middle of the Andes, where despite the first impressions, the people don't live for football, but for cycling. Champions like Fabio Parra and Mauricio Soler came from this area. Today, their idol is Nairo Quintana, born in 1990 and adopted by Spain since he joined the Movistar team. He doesn't come back very often, so when he does, it's a very special occasion. An impromptu photo session. And more photos. And more. It takes 20 minutes for Nairo to leave the cafe 200 meters from his home. Nairo Quintana is just 1.67 meters tall, but he's been a national hero since his victory in the Tour de l'Avenir in 2010. He's also won the Tour of the Basque Country and the Tirreno Adriatico, and in 2014, one of the majors, the Giro d'Italia. Twice he's ridden the Tour de France, and twice he's finished second overall, once as the winner of the polka dot jersey. And he's only 26 years old.
Nairo is for sure his future in the cycling.
It's not the future, he's here right now.
But to understand Nairo Quintana, we have to talk about the past. Because the Colombian is unusual in the cycling world. He rode a bike for the first time only at the age of 15. I was quite a late starter, because usually kids start riding bikes much younger. But it's okay, because I like doing other stuff. Nevertheless, it's true I discovered the bike at 15. It was a feeling of freedom and love, too. Love for the bike. 3 months later, I took part in a race in April. I remember it was very difficult because my family, well, they really didn't know anything about cycling. We didn't have much money to invest in a new generation bike, so I rode on an old bike from, what was it, 1985 or 1990? Nowadays, Quintana rides relentlessly, training for the big races. It's a long way from the young boy from the village of Combita. Prospero Chaparro was his coach back in 2007. I remember him when he came in to the Velodrome training stadium. He came here from his home in Combita, and you know, he was living in very difficult conditions. His clothes, well, they were clothes of a young boy who really was in financial difficulties. This is the village of Combita. And a little house on the edge of the road is where Nairo and his 4 brothers and sisters spent their entire childhood. The family home has been transformed little by little into a snack bar, then a small museum dedicated to the local hero. It's a modest house where Nairo's parents still live.
Muy orgulloso de ser de esta región, de esta tierra. Somos
Here in Combita, we're small farmers. We grow potatoes. Father grows fruit in small quantities, a little bit to sell, and the rest for our personal consumption. Quintana is proud of his peasant origins. He went to school a little bit lower down in the mountains at Arbuco, where the fame of the local boy is also celebrated. After school, the young Nairo used to ride his bike and started to climb a road, a steep road, like stretches of the Tour de France. Setting off at 2,575 meters, 16 kilometers uphill, the gradient sometimes at 8%, a difference in altitude of more than 400 meters in very high humidity. Every day, from 15 years of age, Nairo climbed the equivalent of the Tourmalet to return to the family home. And that was almost at 3,000 meters, heights never achieved during the Tour de France. Well, like he often says, for him, the bike was a means of transport, to go to school and come back home again. But you know, he never thought then that that might make him into a great cyclist. I suppose you could say he was unintentionally training, and that certainly worked for him. Coming up on Sports Insiders, the early days of Nairo Quintana and his importance to the Colombian people. Boyaca in Colombia, the land of bikes. At 18 years of age, Nairo Quintana pursued his training. He wasn't yet king of the mountains, but the mountains were part of him. By now, the region's clubs had heard about this phenomenon. And Prospero Chaparro recognized what potential he had. In 2008, we went to Quintana's house to offer him a place in our all-new continental team. So he signed with us. And you know, from his very first races in Europe, he displayed all the potential. At first, he was just a good rider, but year after year, this good rider quickly turned into a very talented one. And of course, that's why a lot of Colombian teams wanted him. In 2010, Quintana joined the Colombia Espacion team. They registered the 20-year-old for the Tour de l'Avenir, his first big race, his first victory. Andrew Talansky, who finished second in the race, was blown away by the young Colombian.
I think that was kind of the moment that everybody took notice of him. I mean, I think in Colombia, people knew how good he was, and everybody knew who he was. And honestly, when he came to Tour de l'Avenir, you know, people know the Spanish riders or the Dutch riders or the Italians or maybe some of the Americans, but Nairo, that was kind of when he really broke out. I mean,
6 years on, Quintana is now rated by the other riders as the best climber in the world, the one who stands out on all the European roads. He's also Colombia's #1 overall. So when he returned to his hometown to take part in the Colombian Championship, 75 journalists were waiting for him. Everybody wanted to hear what Nairo Quintana had to say. At the end of the press conference, Nairo had more photos taken. But photos are nothing compared with the songs and the video clips in praise of the little climber.
Para el mejor pedalista de todos los tiempos, que viva Nairo Quintana, Nairo Quintana, Nairo Quintana, sencillamente de todos el mejor.
Hace sentir a uno bien. En el caso
Nairo has used his fame to promote the rights of women in Colombia.
muy buena.
You're no less of a man if you share in the daily chores. Despite his media activities and all the other demands on him, Nairo Quintana tries to be a good father for his daughter, Mariana. Smiling, good-natured with his family, His Colombian friend and teammate in the movistar team, winner Anacone, is a big fan.
Nairo es ahora como un héroe nacional, es la persona que le da ahora esperanza al pueblo.
Today, Nairo is a national hero.
Pasan por diferentes.
He's somebody who gives hope to the people. We've known so many problems in this country, and right now, we're searching for peace. We've been working on it for many years, and we hope this peace will be strong now. And Nairo is somebody who gives hope to the people. When he wins, he gives hope all over the country. He's a well-respected and loved national icon. What's more, he's got peasant origins, as we say here, and he's achieved so much. And you know, altogether, it's a dream for a lot of people. A first meeting with another big fan. I created a cycling blog thanks to the newspaper El Espectador. I've been working on it for a year now, in my own time. And for the last few months, my website's been having a lot of success. And I can go to lots of races. I'd really like to have my picture taken with you and ask you 2 or 3 questions, if I may. That's okay. No problem. You know, I haven't stopped having interviews all day, so it's okay. An idol for the young, a hero for just about everybody in Colombia. So is it difficult to live with this new status?
Es un poco difícil, es complicado, pero lo manejo de una forma.
It's a little bit difficult. It's complicated. But I manage it by trying to stay close to the people. And I like it when I feel I'm close to them.
Diferentes formas molestando.
I don't want them to feel hurt. And so in this way, they're not oppressive. You know, I've got my own way of living here in Colombia. And I love to come back here for the love of my land and to give back what it's given to me. In just a moment, the story of Nairo Quintana continues with the wild emotion of the National Colombian Championship, plus the ambitions of the top climber of the Tour de France. Race day in Colombia. Normally on Sundays, Colombians go to church, but today is different because Nairo Quintana is here. So this is one Colombian road cycling championship the whole of the Boyacá region has turned out to watch. In the middle of the crowd, Mauricio Soler. He was the best climber on the Tour de France in 2007, but he thinks Quintana is better than him by some way. He's a great champion. And for me, he's the best rider to have ever walked the earth. A little man tries to push his way through the crowd. But here in Tunja, he doesn't go unnoticed, because it's Luis Quintana, Nairo's father, who's come to see the race with his wife, Maria Luisa. Just like their son, they don't refuse photos or interviews. I'd like to say to Boyacá's people that we are honored by their support of Nairo. These are rare moments because we can see him pedaling here on Boyacá land. My father has always supported me. He's a role model because he's someone who hasn't been lucky with his health. He's had 13 operations. His body is, well, it's a mess. But in spite of everything, he still has the capacity
pero
to get up
a
and
pesar
walk.
de eso, él tuvo la valentía de levantarse y caminar.
The start of the Colombian Championship. Nairo Quintana misses the crucial breakaway. In front is his teammate, winner Anacona. But all eyes are on Nairo. Every time Quintana passes, the crowd goes wild. But the support of Tunja's people is not enough. Nairo Quintana finishes in 4th place. Winning, though, wasn't the most important thing for the Colombian star. He was there to bring joy to his town, to his region, before turning his mind to one thing in particular. My objective and my dream is the Tour de France. In order to achieve his dream, a whole team is behind him. Being co-leader is over. Now, Nairo Quintana is Movistar's absolute leader. And Alejandro Valverde, his first lieutenant.
Bueno, un poco de presión, pero yo lo que le digo a Eusebio.
There's a little bit of pressure, but
Es que ya he mostrado mis capacidades.
like I say to my manager and to the people, I've shown my abilities.
Carrera, soy muy fuerte y peleo
I'm quite demanding with my teammates during the race. I'm strong and I like to fight with my opponents.
Pero me gusta ser muy
I know outside the race, nobody can see that, but I like to be a fighter, to be in my own space, count on myself, and make sure that everything goes well. Even if a rival makes an attack, I want to do the same back. I'm always decent in what I do, and I have a strong character to do what I need to do. Do you like a fight? Yeah, I do.
Este año es el líder absoluto.
This year, he's the absolute leader. And he won this position with his legs. You only need to watch him during a race. He dreams of yellow.
Tiene el sueño amarillo.
And I hope he'll achieve that dream.
Se lleve ese sueño amarillo.
Nairo caught a glimpse of that dream of the yellow jersey last year when he took 1 minute and 20 seconds from Chris Froome in the climb up to Alpe d'Huez. He knows he can beat the British rider when the road gets steeper.
Nairo sì, è un ciclista ancora giovane.
Nairo is still a young rider, but already he's got great potential. When he attacks, he's better than all the other climbers.
Magari gli manca un po' in
He is a little bit weak in the time trial, but there's no doubt
Però sicuramente
that if he improves in that area, he'll win the Tour de France.
in futuro la può vincere sicuro.
Tengo que seguir mejorando la crono, pero creo
Yeah, it's true. I must improve in the time trials.
que no tengo la capacidad.
But I don't think I have the ability.
Tengo la capacidad de hacer una.
I have the ability to do a good time trial
Poco tiempo,
and not to lose too much time,
ganando y sacando
and then go on to
diferencia,
gain that time on the mountain stretch, because
porque apenas peso
I only weigh 56 kilos, remember, and that's why the time trial is difficult for me.
Es muy difícil. Mi cuerpo hacer una contrarreloj de 50 kilómetros.
Riding on a flat road at 65 kilometers an hour for 50 kilometers, well, it's quite impossible technically for me.
Técnicamente es casi imposible.
We have tried,
Y lo hemos
but it's
intentado
difficult.
y así. Es muy difícil.
Not easy, perhaps, but Quintana has won time trials in the mountains, in particular on the Tour de l'Avenir and the Giro in 2014. So he'll look forward to this year's Tour de France and the time trial in the mountains between Sallanches and Megève. And at 26 years of age, the new Movistar leader now has plenty of experience. So maybe he can avoid the sort of thing that happened on Mont Ventoux in 2013.
Le recogen al corredor Nairo Quintana, que tiene que sentarse, está desfallecido. El corredor colombiano deja la bicicleta que recoge más Movistar, está respirando como puede Nairo Quintana.
And maybe he can avoid losing 1 minute 27 seconds like he did last year during the second stage of the Tour, which might have cost him the overall victory. Now, the Quintana of 2016 seems to be ready for anything.
Y me preparo exclusivamente para el Tour.
My preparation is exclusively for the Tour de France.
Tengo los Olímpicos.
And if I finish the Tour de France well, I've got the Olympic Games afterwards. And I'll do everything to show my potential.
Una pelea ya personal con la Vuelta. Ya he tenido la mala fortuna.
After that, it's the Vuelta.
Un par de veces y,
And it'll be my comeback because I've been rather unlucky there. And I want to show the Vuelta that I am in control and not the other way round. Hello, everybody. I'd really like to thank you all. I hope my career will get better and better because my goal is the dream of yellow. Thank you very much. And the question, if he wins the Tour de France, will he stay the same man?
No, mucha gente dice lo mismo.
A lot of people ask me that question.
Ya he ganado algunas cosas.
But I've already won some important races.
Me queda el Tour.
Yep, I still have the Tour de France.
Si no he cambiado,
But if I haven't already changed, I don't think I ever will.
Más no iré a cambiar.
He's been called the Colombian Condor. And certainly, if he flies over the Alps and the Pyrenees, like he did on the Semnoz 3 years ago, Chris Froome would indeed have a worthy opponent in the little big man, Nairo Quintana.